Hello everybody, Giselle Grenier here from artplace.ca. In today's video lesson, I'm going to be having a lot of fun. I'm going to be creating a 4x4 out of corrugated cardboard, and I'm going to be basing it on the theme of Jukebox Oldies. And when I think of Jukebox Oldies, I think of Elvis Presley, A&W, and The Drive-In. That one, and Happy Days, the TV show, but that's what I think about. Now, one thing is regarding drive-ins is that we have a drive-in about 5 minutes from here, so this is going to inspire me to, it's still kind of cold outside, but I'll see if I can go to a drive-in this summer just to experience it. I haven't been to a drive-in. The first drive-in movie I ever saw was Godfather. Ugh, I was little. Okay, I'm not even going to wonder why my parents brought me to see The Godfather at a drive-in, but anyways, but yeah, so drive-in, and you can also base your theme on roller skates, music, cars. The cars is a big one because we think of the 60s, cars, leather jackets. So I'm going to be using Elvis as my jump-off point, and it's I'm going to be creating a very, very abstract painting of him. It's basically just going to be block shapes, and so with that, and I found some embellishments of a gold guitar, be using that, and I also think of Route 66, so I have a cool stencil for that as well. So with that, I'm also going to be putting the title of one of his songs. I'm not sure which one yet. That'll come to me as I make the piece. So basing it on corrugated cardboard is going to be a challenge because the corrugated cardboard doesn't really work with that type of theme. It's more, there's a whole era of the way things look, but I'm going to see how it works and see how it progresses. So let's go on to the table and I'll show you what I have prepared. So on the table here, I've got a whole bunch of stuff. You probably don't even see it. And this is going to be a piece that's going to evolve as I go through the process because I'm not quite sure where I'm going with this. What I started off with for this theme of Jukebox Oldies, the first thing I think of is Elvis Presley. So I found a nice photo of him here blowing a kiss, threw it into Snapseed to brighten up the contrast. I'm going to create an abstract of this one. I'm not going to actually paint his features as they are. I'm going to really block it out, almost like an underpainting, to show it really abstract so you can see who it is, but you can't make out any features. It's going to be really abstract. And what I did to do that, proportions, mean something to me. So I took my lineless grid system and I put it over the phone, and then I created my sketch that way onto some beautiful paper that was gifted to me by Cheryl. And so I've got you probably can't see my sketch on there, so I've got there. Then I've got my little 4x4 piece of corrugated cardboard. But I'm not going to leave it like this. What I'm thinking is I'm going to paint this, then I'm going to tear it out, but I want to tear some of the cardboard to have it show. I don't know. I was also going through some stuff and I found this stencil. It's an Andy Skinner stencil. I like the thing of the Route 66, so I'm probably going to use that. Also found some of these little embellishments here, and oh, let me reach. I found some little music ones here. Just these are festive ones. I found that actually Joe found these at Michael's. Might use those. Got some eyelets, might use that. So we'll just take it from there. So to paint this, I'm going to put this away. So to paint this, I'm going to be using a limited palette. And starting off, I'm going to make a chromatic black. A chromatic black is black made with color. And I'm using the Decor Media Fluid Acrylics, Ultramarine Blue, Burnt Sienna, Burnt Umber, and Titanium White. Titanium White is just to change the value a little bit. And normally when I make my chromatic black, I just use roughly equal parts of ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. But I'm adding in a speck of burnt umber for opacity. Okay, and for brushes, I'm going to use the Aqualon brushes. Won't need all of this. I've got my number 8 Bristle Bright for the gesso stage for the cardboard. So I'm thinking I'm likely going to use this little one here. So we'll get started. My studio table is an absolute mess, my God. Alright, so I'm going to get started by creating my chromatic black. So taking roughly equal parts of the blue and brown, and then when I get something nice and dark, I'm going to bring in a bit more blue. And because it's so dark, I have no idea what the true underlying color is. The only way to tell is you put it on some white paper and then take a little bit of white and add that in to see what you get. And oh my God, this is perfect just the way it is. Okay, well, anyways, if it was too brown, add more blue. If it's too blue, add more brown. But that's perfect. It's a little bit on the blue side, which is fine. And I don't worry about the perfect mix, so as I'm mixing, I may pull in a bit more blue and keep painting. Doesn't matter to me. So I'm just going to put this in, and I also have the phone here with the photograph, just so I can just keep track of the shape. And with the fluid acrylics, that's exactly what they are. They're fluid. So you'll have to keep that in mind when you're painting. And I always like to say use the biggest brush you can stand. This brush is way too small. Can't stand it. Can't stand the brush. It's too small. So this is like a block in. So all I have here are the rough outline shapes. This is for the hair. And come on. You see glare. I see glare. And I mean it's going to be really abstract. You can just cut something out if you want. Use any photograph. I was just inspired by Elvis. And this is going to be for a swap. So exchange it. The theme, Jukebox Oldies. Look at that. So I'm going to work on the shadow under his chin. And when you're making art, just respect copyright. So make sure that you're being very respectful. If you find stuff in public domain, you're okay. All right, so that's... But if you're never sure, always ask the person who took the picture. Just fire them off an email, tell them what you want to use it for. But if you find like places like Pixabay and that, those people that have taken the pictures, they upload to Pixabay and Pexels.com with the understanding that that stuff, those photographs can be used for anything. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to my small brush. And I'm blocking in his eye completely solid, except for a little slit right there. All right. And if this isn't your cup of tea, then you know what? Just do it any way you want. You don't have to do it this way. Just take whatever inspiration you have and go with that. So this is also going to be blocked in quite dark. And I'm just going to leave his eye. There's really not much of the white of the eye. The highlight though is on the eyelid, so I think I'll just leave the eyelid there. You see how fast I'm going? Because if I slow down, I start piddling over shapes, details, then it's going to lose its I can never pronounce the word spontaneous. It's not going to be spontaneous anymore. Blah 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 blah. Okay. And then the nose. So all I'm basically doing, this is like the underpainting. All I'm doing is I'm just working the outlines That really nice little mouth there, blowing that kiss. His jacket, collar. I'm gonna make that solid there. It is pouring rain outside. Oh my god. You see that black is different. This one's more black and this one up here is more blue. And I want to leave the music paper showing through. And then I'll come in with this, the dark that I just made, which was a little bit more of the brown. And I'll just come in here and just put a few strokes to show the hair. And then come in here. And just to show some more detail here, like so. And I'm going to go right down here. Now I'm just going to detail this a little bit more. Again, this style is not for everybody. I just wanted to make it. The reason why I wanted to make it abstract, because we just finished another swap, abstract self-portraits, which was a lot of fun. So I thought, why not do the same thing here? Sideburns. So let's see. That's his ear here. That's the back. So I'm thinking I'm going to go like that. And there's a bit of a distraction now. We've got all the music notes in here, that's fine. There we are. I'll make this a little bit more opaque. So I just kind of touch up here and there. Come back down here. All right. So that's that. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that aside. So you can use any theme you want for this. You don't have to use Elvis. And so I'm thinking now this is going to be the interesting part. It's going to be the interesting part. Let me just hit this with the heat gun for a sec. So I'm going to cut this out. That's why I made the outside pretty smooth. Right to the very edge. I'll trim the bottom. I'll trim this edge as well. There we go. Okay, so that's what I'm going for there. So now I'm just going to take my pencil and just going to draw a rough line there. So all I'm going to do now, where's my, oh seriously, Chaos, you probably, oh jeepers creepers. Oh, that cat. I'm going to start peeling off. I have a paper clip that's opened up on one. There it is. Chaos is here. So I'm going to tear some of these pieces. Just waiting. That's why I clean off my table now. Yeah, and I do end up wasting paint, but at least she doesn't jump into the paint. Alright, so I'm going to do this quite roughly. I don't want to take it all off. That's actually not too bad. Wait. I actually can take this off as well. I just don't go too far. because the music paper is quite thick. Yeah, this is completely up to you. And like I said, I have no idea where this has taken me. Just wanted that top thick layer because then it makes it easier to distress. Keeping in mind now I just blew my idea about putting, oh no, that'll still work. That'll still work. So if I put that there, and then I want to stencil that there, and then have all these little guitars kind of all over the place. Not quite sure. I have no idea. None whatsoever. Take these out. Over there. Oh, I think I just put some of my coffee. So now we're going to take some gesso. You just stay right on the floor, Missy. Deco Art Media gesso with the number 8 Bristle Bright. This is the soft grip brush. And just putting some gesso on there. And the piece is going to be focused on black and gold. Black and gold. And to really pop the gold and to pop the black, I want to knock the brown down. I don't want to make it rustic. I don't want to really make it, not to say modern, but you know, that black leather. And oh, that would have been really cool. DecoArt came out with a product called Patent Leather, and it does exactly that. It just makes something look like it's patent leather. That would have been so cool to do this with that paint. Oh, I haven't ordered it yet, but that would have been neat. Oh, you know what? That's just going to inspire me to do another piece like that. Make sure I have good coverage right in here. The music paper is pretty opaque, so I shouldn't have any of the brown showing through. But there we go. Booyah, that's done. Put that in water. She's scratching my legs. I'm going to dry this with the heat gun. While that's drying, I'm going to stencil that onto white. I'm thinking road sign. So why don't we put it on some white paper with a black. So I'm going to use carbon black for this. I'm not going to use a chromatic black. I'm going to use black out of the tube because it'll be a flat black. And where's my little stencil brush? I'm going to use this little royal stencil. And I'll just pop that in here. You can print this on paper. You don't have to stencil it. I've been doing so much fine art teaching lately. This is what keeps me creative, where I get to have fun. That's why I'm not worried about printing. Like the Elvis picture, I could have printed that. I didn't want to. I wanted to have some fun with it. And I probably should have taped this because now my arm is really, really awkward. I want this to look like it was spray painted. This outside line, I want it to be more solid. I'm actually going to cut this out. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, look how old that looks. That looks wicked. And I use the brush dry because then the paint doesn't seep underneath. I do have to admit, stenciling is not one of my fortes. It's when it happens well, it happens well. get just the wrong amount of paint in the wrong amount of fluidity, moisture in your brush, forget it. And I try to be more careful with maintenance when there's stencils that have words, because I don't care if like shapes and that, if I don't clean them, then who cares, but when there's words involved, you want to keep those nice crisp edges. Oh man, do I have to clean that. All right, so see, I put a little bit too much paint there. Just quickly heat that with a heat gun. And I'm going to cut this out. Now I'm not going to cut this out on camera. That's going to be boring for you guys. That's not quite dry. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out. And then we're going to tint this with gold. Oh, I just came up with an idea. I'm going to make these into sunglasses. And I'm going to make this, but I'm going to tint it to a blue. So I'm usually going to use phthalo blue. And phthalo blue, so blue on the green side. Let's go with burnt sienna, which is on the reddish side, which will neutralize it. Let's see what happens. This just came to me. So as soon as, and I changed the way I was going to make the composition. Okay, let me get this done while the idea is still fresh in my mind. And phthalo blue, you don't need a lot because it's stronger than burnt sienna. Let's see, and what you end up with, kind of like that teal, that tealy color. I like that. I love that. So it's going to change the shape a little bit because I have to make the sunglasses round now. Like those aviator glasses. There's too much water in this. Joe has a pair of those, or had a pair when we first started dating. Make them into sunglasses. Yeah. Let me hit that with a little bit of burnt umber just to make it a bit more opaque. Oh, I just had a coughing fit there. Oh my. Yeah, I don't want to use these as black. I want them to be tinted with a slight color. Do you know what other musician icon would be good for this? James Dean. So this is all freestyle now. Lightening that a little bit. Then once that's dry, I'm going to come with a little bit of silver just to put a little bit of a hit there, and a bit of highlight where the sun will be coming in. There we go. Okay, Mr. Rock and Roll guy, you can go over here. And I don't think I'm going to need any more paint, but who knows? I might not. Don't know. This is the Decor Media Metallic. This is the gold. And I'm going to use a number 12 shader. So I was thinking I'm going to do it like this. Overlap that a little bit. So I'm not quite sure. I want the sign behind. And the sign can, because it's a 4x4, it can actually stick out a little bit. The actual base has to be 4x4, but, and then, well, I know that I'm going to be painting the back gold, so I might as well do that first. There we go. You can also put a record. Do you guys know what a record is? Well, actually, sorry. The ones that are the well, I guess you can call it a demographic, are do know what records are. And it's funny when I talk to the kids in the neighborhood. Let's say, do you guys have a record player? They get mad because they don't know what it is. What? What's that? Is that just another name for an iPod or whatever they're called now? Here we go. All right, so I'm going to hit this with the heat gun now. Okay, sorry. Oh, I got these black eyelets, and I put a piece into this and clamped that. I also shortened his head down a bit, and I'm going to take one guitar, and I've got some gold wire. Don't ask me where I got these. I have no idea. I'm going to make a little loop, but I want to make it like a couple strands around. And I'll leave it at the back. Black wire would have been better. I didn't have any. I guess I could have painted this. All right. Whoops. I boo-booed that one. Yeah, this is clunky. It's small, that's why. All right. Jump ring would have worked as well. Okay, then all I'm going to do is just in the back, just twist it. And if this wire is so thin, scissors will do just fine. Cut it. And then I'm going to take, I'll use one of my texture tools. I'm just going to flatten that. Here we go. And that's going to go here. And I'm putting that right in there, so that way when the actual ring will go inside the corrugated cardboard and it'll sit there quite nicely. So you can choose whether you want to put it inside. Actually, inside looks pretty good, but it's covering his face. So it just depends on where you want to put it. I'm thinking I want to put it right there so the jump ring sits right inside. Now to glue this, you can use whatever you want to glue it down. I'm going to use the matte medium. Oh, had some unexpected company, so I'd stop for a bit. So I did a little bit of other stuff on the side, which I'll show you. So let's get back. So now I'm going to collage this down. I also have my heat gun. Not my heat, yeah, my heat gun warming up. So put this down there, then we'll just take this. I gotta stop doing that. I always put that in the side where you can't see. And right in the corner, right there, and yep. And put a little bit more matte medium on there. And that's when you use a corrugated cardboard where it becomes a little bit challenging. Just burnish that down with the edge of my Aqualon brush. And then when it's dry, then I'll just trim this edge here. Doesn't take very long. And because this is a matte medium, I'm going to lose a lot of the shine of the gold, which is good for photography purposes. And then when I'm actually finished doing all the photography, then I'll put a layer of gloss varnish on it. And I'll show you that at the end. Okay. And I want to edge that while the heat gun is warming up, and I'm going to edge the other thing too. So what I did while I was waiting for quiet, I've got these little micro stamps, little alphabet stamps, and I was using the Stays On ink pad, and I just plain heavy cardstock, blue suede shoes, and I even took the S was upside down, and just different shapes and all that stuff. So cut those out. Put that over here, and then I'm going to use, carbon black. Very little amount with a double-sided pouncer. You can use anything you want. And just going to edge it. And I wanted it to look like little license plates. Little license plates. So really the letter should have been blue. Like that. Nice and rough. And my embellishment, because I follow an order for stuff, you know, I make sure I have something for collage, something for embellishment, something as a focal point. I try to put text in where I can. And my embellishment on this is going to be these black stones, which I wanted to actually to look like studs. I thought it goes in a leather jacket, but I didn't have any of that style other than the shape of a star, which I didn't want. So I'm going to use these really cool black stones. And I'm just going to go around. And what this is going to do is just get rid of the white edge. And also where I kind of cut it crooked, it's just going to finish that off. Should have did that before, but oh well. Life's not over. There we go. You put that in water. Don't need that anymore. Are you ready yet? Yeah, you're getting there. What do I do? Excuse me. Make sure I have that positioned. So the idea is we're just going to have the contrast. I love it. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Love that. Thinking just like that. I was going to have that over top like that, but now I'm thinking I just want it just like that. And to keep that in there, I'm going to fill just to hold it in place. Okay, just inside, and I'll just go here. Me and this glue gun, we do not have a good relationship. I'm so grateful to Joe for buying it for me, but it's big. Right there. Perfect. Ooh, it's nice and warm. Now, if I want this to kind of be able to move around, that's fine. But if I don't want it to move around, I can glue that down. I think I'm just going to glue it down. Hey, over here. There we go. If your piece is going to be flexible, bendable, don't use the hot glue gun. I've found that when I use the hot glue gun, the stuff snaps off. Go. And while I have it out here, actually, I'll put a dot, which will make it stick out a little bit. It'll be raised. Don't burn yourself. Just Slightest pressure. See my hand shaking? There we go. Oh, love it. Love that. Too much contrast here. Oh, sorry, not enough contrast here. But it's too late to do anything about it. Actually, it's not too late. I have some... Okay, what am I going to use? I have some metal paint, which I could have used for that. I have to stop doing stuff on the left side because you guys can't see. I don't know why I do that. There we go, the black studs. Again, I would have preferred silver. You know how I can do that? I'm such an idiot sometimes. If I took these, and then I have to paint a silver reflection on his sunglasses, why don't I just paint these silver? Mind you, that looks kind of neat too. I don't want it to look too blingy though. That looks really nice. That or black? The black has more contrast. Yeah. I like the silver too. All right, so let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Don't burn, don't burn, don't burn. Don't have a lot of working time. There's because the cardboard is bent, there's a divot underneath. What is that? Oh, it's the glue. Shoot, and my tweezers. Off camera, I'll pick off the, there's a bit of a glue blob there. I say off camera, but I'm going to do it now. So you can see. It's just a bit of a glue blob there. And when all else fails, you can collage something over it. There we go. Love that. Okay, I'm going to get some silver paint. I'm using Decor Media Fluid Acrylics, the metallic silver. And I got myself a nice little 20-0 brush. And I'm going to take... That is way too much paint, but I have a glare there. And I'm just going to... And that doesn't matter. I'm just going to roughly paint an outline of his sunglasses. Again, abstract, not going for perfection. So it's like a sketchy, very sketchy. I don't know if you guys can hear the rain. Oh my God. We had a power failure at 4 o'clock this morning, so Joe and I were walking. It was like a movie style fog. I can... Yeah, that works. I'm gonna put a little bit of this metallic paint over the guitar. Yeah, that works. There we go. Just to brush it up a little bit. There we are. And I'll trim this. Voila, I'm not sure I'm liking that. I don't like that. What it was is the glue gun actually melted, and I don't know why. I can't believe I just forgot about that. The glue gun melted the glue bits. But while we're here, let's see if we can paint that. I'm going to take a bigger brush. Yeah, it works. Yeah, it does work. The contrast won't be very strong though. This just helps get rid of the bling. Where are my tweezers? Where are my tweezers? I think somebody's been in here. I'll just blame whoever. Yeah. See, it does become more opaque, but it doesn't, it's not much of a shine. We take a few layers. So let's go back to our original plan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 or 6. Let's do 5. And let's use, get off me, matte medium. Just take the dirty brush, dip it in, put that there, put that there. Like that. There we go. That'll dry transparent. Easy peasy done. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I would love to see your rendition of a style like this, your own rock and roll style. Let me know what you think, and just create your own rendition. If you want to participate in the swap, depending on when you're seeing this video, it may be over, but I still would love to see pictures. You can post them in our private Facebook group, or send me an email. Links are at artplace.ca, so I'd love to see your version. So what I'm going to be doing at this point is I'm going to go ahead and do all the photography on this, and then I'll come back and I'm going to apply a gloss varnish on some of the areas of the gold to bring it out, and I'm also going to put a coating of liquid glass on the letters, which is super shiny, and a gloss varnish on here, because everything to make it look like a license plate. And I'll take pictures again just so you can see why it's so hard to take photographs with gloss varnish. Holy smokes, that was fun. It was hard, but it was fun. So I really hope that you enjoyed this project, and I would love to see your rendition of how you made a piece like this. And with the way I did it, and I did the photography without any varnish, and now I varnished it, and just, you can see the shine on it now. It's quite shiny. So varnish at the end, it helps when you take your pictures that you have a record, especially if you're giving it for a swap or something, or selling it. You have a record of your art. So I'd love to know what you think. When you think of Jukebox Oldies, what comes to your mind about creating a piece of art based on that? So comment below the video, let me know what you think, and give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And also if you learned anything, or if you picked up on a tip that you can kind of mix around to make it work for your own style, that I'd like to hear about as well. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That way you won't miss anything, because there's a lot of neat stuff coming up. All right, so if you want to share a picture with me of what you created, you can do that at the private Facebook group or by email. Links to both of those are on my website at artplace.ca. So I'm off. We are going through so much rain now. I can't believe how much rain we're getting. And depending on when you're watching this, by the time you're watching this, it may be summertime. I have no idea. I have no idea. But we're in for thunderstorm watch, so I'm going to basically be shutting off all my electronics, and I'm going to hang out with Mia for a while and keep her calm while the boom boom thunder settles down. All right, so until I see you in the next video, stay inspired.